Okay, welcome. Half steps and whole steps, and what to do with them. These units of measure are very useful for a musician to know. It might seem kind of dry, but we'll try and make it interesting and useful right away here. So, half step on a violin is when fingers are close, right next to each other. See if the camera can see that. Two notes that are right next to each other. A whole step is when the fingers are spaced. You see that? Anywhere in the violin that are spaced. If they're close, they're a half step. Here's two whole steps. Here's a step and a half. Now, let's put them to use. Let me play a couple of them. So let's see, the first finger on the G string is a whole step. That's A to B. Hear the sound of it too? It's it's a step up in the sound. So, and the D string, E1 to F sharp 2, a space. In contrast, E1 to close, low to F is a half step. Half step is a completely different feeling than a whole step. Let's see what's this one. That's a whole step. First finger B to C sharp 2. And in contrast, they're much closer. It's a half step B to C. Kind of get how it works? Now it doesn't have to be first finger. It can be anywhere in the violin. It could be open to first finger, normal first finger, F sharp, a whole step. Open to low 1. There's that sound. That's a half step. You getting it? Let's try third finger. How about on the A string? D, a whole step to the fourth finger, E. And in contrast, close, low 4 is a half step. These are the basic building blocks of all chords and scales and all things. It's how we measure the distances, called intervals. Now, let's put them to some use right away, though, rather than just have a bunch of theoretical junk in our head. Remember, the Fiddle Jam approach is to not think about stuff too hard so that we can have more fun and joy when we play. So what are they good for? Well, right away I can think of one use for your knowledge. Two whole steps. Let's talk about that for a second. Say we'll go back to that first finger on the G string. There's a whole step to B. Another whole step, you're going to kind of stretch your finger to the C sharp. Let's take a look at that closer to the camera. Let me get that closer to the camera. A whole step to B, and a whole step to C sharp. See how the spaces between my fingers? The distance from A to C sharp is two whole steps. So, the distance of two whole steps has kind of a happy sound, happy feeling. Put that anywhere. How about on the D string? Or A string? E string? It doesn't have to be, again, the first finger. It could be from an open string. How about D? To E1 is the first whole step. F sharp 2 is the second whole step. That again is two spaces as well. Open to first finger to F sharp 2. I'm using this violin with this old fiddle fretter on it so you can maybe see some of the lines that are worn off on my fiddle too. So, there's the two whole steps. On the A string, E string, G string. And again, those two whole steps has that kind of this happy feeling. In comparison, the step and a half. Whole step to A1 and the G string, of course, and a close to B flat. The step and a half has a completely different feeling in music. It's very serious and dark. Makes you want to frown. How about on the D string? A string? E string? That'd be open to low 2. Now again, we can start from another finger. How about the first finger? Whole step, half step. Whole step and half step makes a step and a half. So Anywhere that step and a half will have that serious dark sound. Now, what to do with these things? Well, the step and a half right there. That's part of the blues scale. It's the first two notes of a blues scale. If you just remember that, you can slide a little bit. And also, these things help us with chords. Now, we don't have to play chords on the violin. The violin's not that great at chords like a guitar is or mandolin, but we need to know about chords to know what notes to play to fit to chords that are in the background of songs. So, let's go back to the two whole step thing. It's called a major third, by the way, in theory speak. How about from the A? First finger on the G string. There it is. The root, the A, the third, which is two whole steps away, the C sharp, mixed with straight across from the A, the E, which is 5 notes away. The violin is tuned in fifths, as I've said in other videos. That's right. So it's a good thing to know that fifth is always straight across. So it's the G string, G, A, B, C, D. The D is 5 away. D, E, F, G, A. The A is 5 away from the D. And A, B, C, D, E. The E is 5 away from the A. So likewise, anywhere if it's a finger, if it's the first finger on the G string, 5 notes away is first finger on the D string, etc. If it's third finger on the A string, 5 notes away is always going to be straight across the third finger on the E string. You get how that works? That's kind of a mental little trick to know that a fifth is always straight across. Now, what does it have to do with our major thirds and minor thirds and half steps and whole steps? Well, the combination of any note that is the name of a chord, in this case A, whereas in our example, then 2 whole steps away, and it's fifth, straight across from the first note, makes a major triad, which is what makes up a major chord. So if you see the symbol A above a melody in the music, that means the background to the music, it has an A chord at that point. A guitar player knows just put their fingers a certain way and strum, and they don't have to know all the notes. But violinists kind of do, because we don't have fingerings that we play chords and just strum. So knowledge is our friend. So whenever you see an A chord, of course, as you know, we can play A and make up stuff to fit the song. But we can also play 2 whole steps up and the fifth, just straight across from the name of the chord. The notes of a chord that are broken up one note at a time is called arpeggiating the chord. Again, that's useful for violinists because we're not so good at chords. And violinist is not made for it. It's made for single notes more than anything. And it's really good at that. So, we break them up to fit the song. So instead of having to know, you can strum a few chords, but instead of having to do that, and that's the finger pattern. The name of the chord, 2 whole steps away, and straight across is a fifth. Now you can put that anywhere in the violin tune. That's a major chord. Let's try E. Up 2 steps, and straight across is its fifth. And once you do that basic triad, you then know the 3 notes that you can put anywhere. So in this case, we just played an E, a G sharp, and a B. All right, now we could have called it might be a temptation to call it an A flat for some people. But technically speaking, it's best to know the language, the lingo that musicians use, and it's got to be every other letter name too to be technically correct. So it's E, not A flat, but G sharp, E, F, G sharp, some type of G, and then some type of B. It goes every other letter name to be theoretically correct, so you're in the club and know the right lingo. So now we can put that E, G sharp, or B, any E's, G's, sharps, or B's anywhere. All right, if you know where they are. So you feel free, but stay within the first triad if you want. And be creative when you want to make up some backups that fit to a song wherever there's an E chord, for instance. All right, you getting the idea? Let's review the minor chord. Now the minor chord will be the same thing, minor triad, a 3-note chord. Let's go to B, first finger. The minor triad has a step and a half right away. So whole step, half step, right? That's the distance of what we call a minor third, a step and a half. So remember, space, close is the minor third. B to D in this case. So if you see a BM, a B minor chord, the song Musical Priest has a B minor in it. There's a song I could think of right away. You could look up the lesson on that on the site. Remember, the minor third has a more dark and serious sound to it, as opposed to the major. And again, our friendly fifth, straight across from the name of the chord. We're working with the B this time, so B straight across will be F sharp. And how it works, the fifth stays the same. The middle note, the third, moves around by a half step sometimes, depending on whether it's a major, which is a capital letter, or a minor with a little M after the name of the chord. So, B minor, and the fifth. Those are the three notes that are in a B minor chord. So that's kind of the secret fingering lingo. So, B, D, F sharp. Any B, D, F sharp anywhere is part of a B minor chord. B, D, F sharp, B, D, F sharp. Oops, I put an A. The truth is, I seldomly play just the triad. We add other notes in there too when we're jamming. But you need to know the basic lingo. The chords are the bones of a scale, the skeleton of the scale. And it's good to know what notes are in the chords so you can harmonize well and know what notes to land on rhythmically and with your ideas at certain key spots to make you sound like you know what you're doing. That's what this whole site's about, to have fun and know what you're doing. Does that make sense? I'd love to hear your questions. If I've gone too fast, review the video. So that's, to review quickly, that's half step, close fingers, whole step is spaced fingers, two whole steps makes what we call a major third. That's anywhere in the violin, from any finger. Or open strings. All those are major thirds. And the step and a half, the combination, was the minor third, serious sounding, part of the blues scale. Or from an open string. Or from any finger. There's the minor third. Low 2 to low 4. The minor third will always have that serious sound. That's just the nature of things. That goes beyond music. It's something universal in the universe that maybe we'll never understand. It's something, I don't know. Who knows? If you know the answer why a minor third sounds sad and serious, let me know. And if you know why a major third sounds happy and bright to us, let me know. I'd be very interested to know. It's got to be some scientific answer. It jiggles our brain somewhere or something. I think that's fascinating. But for right now, you don't have to know why. You just have to know what it is and use it and have fun with it. All right? So go have fun. Play some arpeggios to chords. And now you'll know a little bit more and be able to apply this silly knowledge without thinking too hard about it so you can jam and have more fun and joy with music. Got it? Very good. See you at the next lesson.